This story does not begin with statistics. It begins with bodies. Before laws were written, before policies were signed, before history was sanitized, violence was the language used to establish control. The black body became a site of terror, whipped, chained, branded, hunted, not as a byproduct of cruelty, but as a method of governance. Pain was not incidental, it was instructional. Freedom, when it came, was never free. It was measured in blood, in lives shortened, in families broken apart for daring to claim what should never have required permission. Liberation was taxed. Resistance was punished. Survival itself became an act of defiance. And to make this system endure, it was wrapped in righteousness. Scripture was weaponized. God was invoked. Slavery was not only defended, it was preached. Faith, meant to liberate the spirit, was used to imprison the body. Oppression was reframed as order. Submission was called virtue. What followed was not peace, but enforcement. For a century and more, racial violence functioned as public policy. Lynchings were warnings. Silence was complicity. Terror did not need secrecy, it relied on spectacle. The message was simple and relentless. Progress would be punished, and memory would be erased. When slavery ended, control did not. Reconstruction promised citizenship, but delivered surveillance. It offered ballots with one hand and nooses with the other. The illusion of inclusion masked the reality of exclusion. Laws changed their language, not their intent. Segregation refined the system. Water fountains, schools, neighborhoods, every boundary drawn with precision. Not to separate equals, but to codify hierarchy. Inequality was engineered, enforced, and then blamed on those trapped inside it. Yet through every generation, resistance survived. Not always loud, not always visible, but carried in bloodlines, in memory, in refusal. Roots pushed through concrete. Culture endured where policy tried to erase it. Survival itself became inheritance. And still, the narrative shifted again. Progress was declared. The past was framed as resolved. Peace was pronounced fragile but sufficient. Meanwhile, new systems replaced old ones, subtler, cleaner, bureaucratic. Prisons expanded. Neighborhoods were redlined. Laws targeted behavior already constrained by design. Poverty was criminalized. Outcomes were blamed on choices never freely made. The colony was no longer a plantation. It became a zip code, a balance sheet, a pipeline. Bodies were no longer owned outright, but futures were. This was not accidental. It was global. Corporations extracted. Institutions consolidated. Wealth moved upward while labor remained trapped. The empire did not end, it changed uniforms. Chains became contracts. Exploitation became policy. Distance made it easier to deny. And still, the story persists that this is history, that it is over, that time alone corrects injustice. But systems do not dissolve on their own, they adapt. This is not a story about guilt, it is a story about truth. What was built deliberately must be confronted deliberately. What was hidden must be named. What was normalized must be questioned. They buried people in chains, not knowing they were planting roots. And roots, once grown, remember everything. This is Unmasked.